Well, hello and happy Wednesday to you. Today is Committee of the Whole Day for your Municipal Council. There is a meeting tonight at 6 p.m. at the Garcelon Civic Center in the Moosehead Room, and I encourage you as a resident to come in and join that meeting. Of course, it is also live streamed typically, so you can join in that way. I gotta say, I'm really encouraged as I knock on doors. Yesterday I was knocking in Mayfield, and I'm amazed at how many people engage through those meetings online. So, like I say, for the last 2 years, I've been attending meetings in person. It has felt a little bit lonely sometimes, like just me and Chandra there. Sometimes Chandra Best, who's running for council. There has been more interest lately, the closer we get to election season. Remember, an election season really is the time where you are evaluating your council, right? Council can evaluate the CAO, give a performance review, and assess the staff and how things are going in terms of delivery of services and things like that for the residents. But residents have their say every 4 years in an election. So that is what's coming up. Now, I've got a lot of positive feedback too about how for the first time ever, people feel like the council agendas and minutes and documents related to decisions that are being made are accessible for the first time maybe. Now, if you're really committed, you can dig around and find these documents. I have been saying that. But I want to make it much easier as your mayor to find these documents, to reach people who you need to reach. It does feel a bit like a maze or a black box to a lot of people. Today, I want to dive right in, though, and get to tonight's Committee of the Whole agenda. If you're kind of new to my videos, I have been covering the last couple months because we're on day 66 here of a daily video. Committee of the Whole is where the council meets and discusses decisions that can be put on the table at the regular council meeting 2 Wednesdays from now. And the reason for a Committee of the Whole meeting is so that we can watch as those discussions take place. Those discussions need to take place in public. It's not like the council can meet at somebody's house and then, put their heads together and decide what to decide. This needs to happen transparently and in public, and that is the purpose of the Committee of the Whole meeting, where you will see department heads give their reports. You will see things that are coming together based on previous meetings, maybe resolutions and other Committee of the Whole meetings where the council said, okay, we need to take care of this business. The CAO will be preparing, along with the clerk, the agenda based on past conversations. And so when the agenda drops like it did yesterday, that is the work of the CAO and the municipal staff who put together these packages. So you have the agenda and then you have all the documents related to the items on the agenda, and that can be many, many pages. So the full package for tonight is 81 pages. So if you are so inclined, you could print that out and have all those pages with you. What I typically do is I like to have the agenda. Today it is just 2 pages long, but again, every single item has its own document or documents attached to that. And I want to walk you through, because again, a lot of people are giving me such positive feedback and saying, where do I access this and that? Today I want to walk back and do something I haven't done before and say, if you want to access the documents I'm talking about, here's how you do it, a little tutorial. And then I just want to go through the agenda really quickly so you can hear what will be discussed tonight. And then starting tomorrow, over the next few days, I will likely unpack in more detail the reports that you're seeing on here, the things that are up for consideration, because it's just part of being informed. That is, part of when I say I want to be leading a council that you trust. A lot of that trust is going to come from you understanding what's being discussed, why it's being discussed, and how those decisions are made. That's something that we have not really been able to enjoy or experience as residents of the Municipal District of St. Stephen. And at the doors, I'm hearing just how important that would be for people. Let's be honest, there's plenty of people who do not engage at all with municipal politics. And voter turnout is typically 25 to 30%. That means of all people who are eligible to vote, only 1/3 or less do. So yes, some of us are policy nerds, really like to get into this, really like to understand what's going on. But for those people who do want to know what's going on and who have a problem and want to reach out to staff or a counselor or things like that, I do get asked at the door, how do I go about doing that? So I would like to share that with you too. But let's start. I want to get you started on how to find your way on the municipal website, which actually is quite thorough, but you maybe need some help navigating it sometimes. So again, I'll get you started with the first link in the description if you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook. And I got my computer here, so I want to see what you will see, kind of walk you through this like an IT person. So starting off, go to town.St. Stephen, STSTEPHEN, not the full Saint, ST, town.ststephen.nb.ca. That's kind of the mouthful URL web address of our municipal website, all right? So town.ststephen.nb.ca. When you're on that page, you see right in the middle, if you're on your desktop, mobile, well, we'll have to figure that out another time. Maybe I'll walk you through the mobile for the next meeting. But if you're on a desktop, right in the middle, you'll see municipal menu in blue. There's a menu across the top, municipal menu in blue. You click on that and you'll get a drop-down menu now of many things. But if we're trying to find the council and business around the council, then you want to look on the right-hand side. There is a column there under Municipal District Office, and then you will see the second item down from that is Municipal Council Agendas and Minutes. Now, when you click on that, you're on a web page that says Municipal District Meetings. There's a couple of possible views here, kind of in the bottom, the top mid right-hand side. You're going to see Calendar View or List View. So you pick which one you like. If you open up the full calendar, you will see, the month of April, and you'll see the 8th Committee of the Whole, a highlighted item with a time, and then the 22nd, the regular council meeting. So if you click the list, you'll just get those 2 items of upcoming meetings and then past meetings, some drop downs there. So that's very thorough as well. When you look at upcoming meetings, Committee of the Whole is on here. And when you look to the right of that bar, you will see agenda. The agenda appears here when it is prepared. And there are 2 choices here, HTML or PDF. Now again, HTML, I really would like to see this language a little bit more simple. HTML is the digital version. So you can just have it on your phone or your tablet or your computer. PDF, again, you can click on that and open it, but what you're going to get is kind of the paper version. It's digital, but you'll get the agenda, and then you'll get all the documents in sequence. So if you printed it out, like I say, this week, 81 pages, you would have a full packet, and there are page numbers here on the agenda that you would skip to. So it's 81 pages, but if you wanted to find, for example, the CAO's office report, then you would look at page 15, and you'd have to flip to that. Whereas on the HTML version, if you click on that, you will get the digital version, and every item, when this appears on your computer screen, has a blue heading and a little paper clip to the right-hand side of it. So when you click on either the paper clip or the specific item, a pop-up box will appear on the right-hand side with the relevant documents that are being discussed. Okay, that's why the agenda is only 2 pages, but the full package is 81 pages. So really quickly now, here's a roundup of what's going to be discussed tonight. I will be there, of course, taking notes, and tomorrow and the next day, and let's face it, probably the next day, because I want to keep these videos more bite-sized, I will unpack things that were discussed and the impact that the decisions that are going to be made have on you and us as residents, okay? There's going to be, of course, we'll skip the approval agenda, disclosure of conflict of interest, adoption of minutes, but the new business is going to be a community safety update. And that's really interesting because these are from the province. So there's fire season, the memo coming out, which basically means the province is informing municipalities that it is fire season coming up, and therefore they will be issuing the color-coded fire threat levels that we're familiar with. Red, like no burn, and green, burn safely, and yellow, that kind of thing. The next item on here is new investments and fee adjustments to strengthen safety and justice. So basically, the province is saying we need more money for the RCMP and public safety, and to offset that, we're raising fees on the following things. So you can click on that and see everything from vehicle permits and building, all the things, they're raising fees. This is just what happens with government. And then Justice Program launch. This is a very interesting program that I'd like to unpack more in the days to come. It is a better fast-track way for if someone is arrested by the police and the arrest is related to addiction or mental health, then there is a track for them to get treatment. This is really relevant to St. Stephen because a lot of our crimes and disturbances, things that residents don't like, are related to mental health and addictions, particularly around the lodge, something that I really want to tackle as your mayor. And at the end of the day, though, we do say, like, it's not a crime to be wherever you fall on this. It's difficult for the police to charge someone who is simply in the community under the influence. It's hard to find evidence and prove. We live in a society where the justice system needs evidence and proof and things like that. And so unfortunately, a lot of the time, the police do not charge somebody. And again, because there are no facilities, there's no, even if they get them to a certain point, get them charged, they're back out on the street, or judges are more lenient than maybe many New Brunswickers would like to see. But this is the problem that we're in, and it looks like this current government is acknowledging that, and I think this is a good path forward for helping to solve the problem and alleviate some of the pressures that are related to disturbances around mental health and addictions, finding a pathway for those folks to get the help they need. So I'll be looking at this very, very closely. Now, the departmental reports, this is where you learn a lot. And again, I really like unpacking these. You have the CAO reporting on their activities and initiatives. And we've said before, the CAO is, the only employee of council. The council evaluates and gives performance review for the CAO. The CAO is the head manager for all of the staff, right? So when you see the next reports, the deputy CAO, also the fire chief, also the head of public works. This gentleman, Sean Morton, wears a lot of hats, and that's what we've decided. That's how we've decided to parse out our budget. You could have multiple people in charge of these things, but the deputy CAO reports on a lot of activity, everything from dog catching to building permits, fire safety, that kind of thing. Then you'll have Parks and Community Services, the head of that, Kevin Sumner. Then you'll have our treasurer. Then you'll have the Service Commission Planning Department with their reports on permitting and planning. And I do like to read that. You think, well, it's boring, but when you see how much wealth has been created by permits, I think it's really important. I've said here before, we have upwards of $800 billion in property wealth in St. Stephen. That's a pretty mind-blowing number. So when you'll see like a report, now we've added 3 million, we've added 5 million. Again, this is the tax base is expanding, and you do want to see that number going up. So I will likely report on that in the coming days. Then Future St. Stephen, which I've discussed at length here, is going to give a report. Right now, that's around the hotel and housing and tourism. Really good report. And then additional funding requests from Ganong Chocolate Museum. You can open that and see the request there. They are requesting for some municipal support because of traffic being down. We are a border town, and there is just less traffic back and forth because of the kind of international political scene right now. There's a highway usage permit for an AT trail on Hayman Avenue up in the rural area. ATVing and quad NB, they're really expanding out. This is a really great industry, the quad industry and ATV trails. And so sometimes those trails come up on a highway, and they are requesting, if we want to put it as part of the official trail map, there needs to be permitting, and the municipality works with the province to permit different sections of our highways. Then there is a request for reconsideration downtown facade program. I talked about this last month, where the council decided against funding top shelf cabinets on Milltown Boulevard because the siding they chose did not meet the specific stipulations of the facade program, and they are requesting that to be reconsidered. There's a document where they make a bit of a case there, and we'll see what the council decides on that. I have thoughts and opinions about it. I don't sit at that table, but we can unpack that in future videos. Then there's a series of documents around the fees. We talked about new bylaws that are being brushed up on: food truck regulation, busking and street performance, and transient traders, kind of door-to-door sales or pop-up shops or that kind of thing. And there was discussion around, well, what will the fees be? And this is an example of how now that we've got these bylaws, there is fees that need to be applied, and council will kind of sign off and discuss on the fee structure. Okay, so that is it. Then it's set for adjournment, and that'll be that. So that's what is in the wheelhouse of being discussed this week. Again, decisions cannot be made at the committee of the whole, but what is decided tonight is what goes on the agenda for decision making at the regular council meeting 2 weeks from now. I'm doing this because this is the kind of thing I'm going to do as mayor. We're on day 66. I'm in quite a rhythm. If and when I get elected, I will be talking to you just like this, dare I say even live perhaps, to take questions and interaction. I really believe that we can get better with our service, great service for a great town that we live in, and this is the kind of thing I'll be doing as your mayor. So I'll see you tonight. I'll be there. You'll be online. If you're watching this, you'll probably be watching the council meeting. And I encourage you to check out buildupststephen.ca for more about me, my campaign, and what I want to do. But this is one example of that. Take care of yourself, take care of your neighbor today, and let's build up St. Stephen together. Cheers. See you tomorrow.